Nintendo are not going to be happy about this. I have managed to find a couple of circuit boards on eBay which contain software that we've never seen before. One of them contains prototype software for one of the earliest versions of the Nintendo DS Lite that was ever made. This was never meant to be seen by the public. This was for in-house Nintendo development only. But I'm going to show you what that software looked like today. And the other one contains Chinese exclusive software. We're going to be transforming this Nintendo DS into the iQOO Nintendo DS. Let's get started. So doing this is actually fairly simple. We're going to take off the back housing of the Nintendo DS Lite and swap out one of the chips. Now, what are these chips? These are Wi-Fi antennas, and I didn't actually know that all of the software for the Nintendo DS Lite is on these Wi-Fi antennas. So when we swap them out, that's going to transform the entire DS into a completely different thing, which we've never seen before, and I'm super excited. I grew up playing the Nintendo DS Lite, and when it first came out, I remember just thinking that I've got this small little portable gaming almost miniature laptop, which was just so sick to me. And yeah, I mean, we should probably actually check out the software just to familiarize ourselves with it. I'm sure you're all gonna know. It's this kind of slightly dated, almost Windows XP looking kind of user interface. There's the different options for either Nintendo DS cartridges or Game Boy Advance cartridges. Then you had Picture Chat, then you had DS Download Play. You have brightness, settings, and a sort of, is this an alarm? Oh, it is an alarm. I actually forgot that it had an alarm, to be honest with you. And then you've got the clock and a calendar and some other little bits of information up here. But this always looked to me like a little Windows XP kind of window thing, which is just so cool. But how are these pieces of software going to differ? Obviously, the development prototype software is going to be completely different, but how about the Chinese software? Is that going to be more or less the same, but just branded differently? Because some of you may know in China, they actually didn't have Nintendo. They had the iQOO, which is rather interesting, and there were actual exclusive Chinese iQOO consoles. I've actually got a Game Boy Advance SP, which I'll put up on the screen now, which is an iQOO Game Boy Advance SP. So essentially, Nintendo wasn't known as Nintendo in China, it was known as iQOO. So when we swap out that chip into here, we're gonna have the iQOO Chinese exclusive Nintendo DS Lite, which is just super cool. Nintendo are seriously not going to be very happy about this. They are an incredibly litigious company, and recently they have been cracking down on people having fun. There is one small little latch on the front here, there we go, and off it comes. And that right there is the Wi-Fi antenna that we are going to be replacing. And it is so straightforward. We literally just lift it off like this, remove the antenna cable, because there's a little wire that goes up to the top screen where there's a small little antenna inside there just to actually get the signal, because this is a Wi-Fi antenna board, but it just also happens to contain the software. I don't really understand that part, but all I know is that once we change out this, it's going to absolutely transform the entire DS. I don't know which one we're putting on first. I have absolutely no idea. And if I didn't already mention, I bought these off of eBay. I probably won't link the seller just in case I get into trouble, but I did not make these. I do not endorse this. I do not recommend this. Please don't sue me. Right, it's not turning on. Have we broken it? What? Oh, there's no battery. Okay, this one is the prototype one. I think we should save that one till last, if I'm honest with you. Let's swap out this one again and see if we can have a little exploration of the Chinese exclusive software. There we go. Okay, let's pop this back on. Remember to put the battery in this time. Flip it over, and here we go. I've broken it. The power switch is not lining up. Wow, why is the screen brightness so dim? Did you see that? It just said iQOO on the top screen. It's in English. That's rather interesting. It is in English currently. Let's go through this settings together actually, because It could be slightly different. So far, it's exactly the same as the last one. I don't recognize any difference whatsoever. I'm just entering my name, and then we can choose our color. There's going to be date and time and birthday and all the rest of it. Skip, 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 skip. Yeah, this is all exactly the same. So far, no difference whatsoever to this one. We need to restart the console. Here we go. Is it going to turn on with a slightly brighter screen? Were the Chinese DS's like brightness restricted? But you can see up there IQ DS. How cool is that? Oh no, there you go. I can make the screen brighter. It's exactly the same. There is not a single difference other than that loading screen just says IQ. Yeah, all of this is completely the same. Oh, let's get the prototype one in because I think that one is going to be far more interesting. Okay, here we go. Popping in the battery, let's flip it over. Here we go. Prototype Nintendo DS software. Okay, let's ignore the time set part because that's not really that important. Initial setting completed. Please reboot. Okay. What just happened? Did you just hear that? What? That is eerie. Okay, wait, and what does it say on the bottom screen when we do that? Press B or touchscreen to select menu. Okay. So, the top screen says Game Boy. The bottom screen has 4 different options. We've got Play DS Game, Play GBA Game, and then we've got Wireless Download and Nitro Settings. Let's see what Wireless Download is. Is this just like directly into where you go onto like DS Download Play and then it's giving us the options so that they could test the Wi-Fi sort of gameplay functionality of DS Download Play? I think that is exactly what that is. Yeah, you can see here it says member list, game introduction, wireless download. So I'm fairly certain that this is just the DS Download Play screen, but in a really ugly prototype development version. What does that say? What does that say? That almost certainly says reboot. Okay, let's have a look at Nitro settings. What is BLT? And also the touchscreen just completely doesn't work now. Nitro settings, let's have a look. Oh. So yeah, we're straight into the settings of the DS. So it is actually... Oh, and by the way, if you're not familiar with what Nitro is, that was the code name for the Nintendo DS. In fact, I have right here a prototype Nintendo DS Lite, and as you can see on the front of it, it says Nitro Emulator, and then here is the actual DS with nothing on it at all, and it doesn't work, it doesn't have a battery in it, it's all completely coming from this box. So this is basically a Nintendo DS in a box, and then this is almost just a controller with some screens on it. But yeah, Nitro Emulator. So you can really get a feel for how early this software is, the fact that they're still referring to it as Nitro. So user information, we've basically just got a back end with absolutely no user interface, or at least there is a user interface, it's just not very aesthetic. You've got obviously the language option, and then you have AGB mode, which stands for Advanced Game Boy. So that is asking us what screen we want to display the Game Boy on, top or bottom. And then we've got touch panel. This is a prototype touch panel calibration. Does that work? Yes, it does. Very cool. Auto boot, these are the settings for if there's a cartridge inside it, that it will auto boot to that. So that is the settings. How interesting. And obviously, again, for this, we're going to have to reset the DS to actually get back. And it does that again, get back to the home screen. So let's plug a DS game in and just see what happens. This is a totally legitimate Nintendo DS game. Here we go. Oh, so there's the Nintendo logo, damn, and then it just boots straight into the game, which is, you know, a ROM cartridge. But yeah, besides that, it works perfectly well. What a random fun little video. I am just so creeped out by the Nintendo children. They are creepy. The black screen, the really low quality Game Boy logo that has like white pixels around it. This is so random. What is the BLT? Is that bacon, lettuce, tomato? We've looked at the iQOO one. We've looked at the prototype one. What a random little thing to stumble across on eBay. And I'm glad I did. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. This has been some prototype software and some Chinese exclusive software. I hope you've all enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.